Welcome to All Things Greater Burlington, where you will hear from the movers, shakers, and changemakers that are moving Greater Burlington forward. Here is your host, Stephen Brody.
Welcome to All Things Greater Burlington. My guest today is Tracy Dunn, owner of Trace's Boutique. And Tracy has a wonderful story to share about not only the business, but the purpose of her business. And I thought it would be wonderful to share with our listeners. Tracy, welcome and thank you for taking time to be with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
So your first name is Tracy.
Yes.
But the name of the store is Trace's Boutique.
Yes.
So is Tracy a nickname? Or Trace? What do we got here?
Trace's is a nod to my mother. My mother wanted to own a store when I was younger and name it after me. And I had this horrible time finding clothing that fit me when I was a child. So she always wanted to call it Trace's. And so I was like, you know what? When I open my store, I'm going to call it Trace's so I can have my little nod to her.
So no pressure. This has been in the works for quite some time then.
A ton. Oh my gosh, yes. I have a very big thing to live up to.
Yeah. Well, when I was at the ribbon cutting, you certainly had a nice support group there with you.
I did. Yes, 3 generations. It was very fun.
That's fantastic. So now this is not a full-time deal for you. You work somewhere else first. Mm-hmm. How are you able to juggle that?
I hope well. So Monday through Thursday, I work as an engineer, so that's really fun. I get to be my mechanical engineer and do all those super fun things to help the world that way.
Yeah.
And then on Fridays and Saturdays, I get to teach the world about sustainability and make women feel beautiful about themselves. So
wonderful.
And then on Sundays, I try to figure out how to keep doing it all the next week and figure out what my schedule is. So sometimes laundry doesn't get folded, but we make it all happen.
Very good. And you're located downtown Burlington. Yep. Mm-hmm. What's your address?
403 Jefferson Street.
Okay. All right. And so far, with everything going on with the road construction downtown, you're okay.
I'm okay. Yep.
Yeah, because we've been, at the time that we're recording this is in June, and so far so good for you.
So far so good, yes. I'm super excited about all of the construction going on and all the progress that we're making, and I kind of can't wait for the paw prints to come down on my sidewalk. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited about the paw prints.
Because that means it's coming.
And that means it's coming.
Very good. So you said that you're an engineer by trade. Mm-hmm. So what was it that motivated you to take that leap of faith and say, okay, now's the time for me to open up a store of my own?
COVID. Very strange. Yes, very strange. I was furloughed from my job during COVID, and I absolutely loved waking up at 7:45 in the morning. It was amazing. when you're so used to waking up at 4, you're just like, what, 7:45?
Yeah.
And I told my husband, I said, I want to really open my own business. I want to grow our business that we have together. What can I do? And he's like, well, you got to have a revenue of some sort. I said, well, sir, I have an idea. And so I wanted to open up my own clothing business. And he's like, well, what's our niche? What are we going to do? And so he's like, I'm fully support it. If that's what you want to do, let's do it. So it took a little bit longer than just COVID because I went back to being a full-time engineer after my furlough. But once I got my idea of what I wanted to make Trace's become, it was no stopping me. It came together in like 3 weeks.
Well, and you never know who's listening to this. So you have an idea. Mm-hmm. Where do you go from there? Where do you take this idea of what you want to do? What was your next step then?
My next step was once I had the idea and I knew I really wanted to do it, I just started writing down what was my goal. What did I want to get out of that?
Yeah.
And it was, I wanted something that fit me and my style, and I didn't fit all of this mold of women and girls of my age, and I wanted to just kind of foster this relationship with no fast fashion, and I wanted to just be something different. I wanted to change the world.
Did you do research to look to see if whatever, and I don't think you've shared completely yet what it is, which is fine.
No,
this is good. This is good.
Okay.
So did you look and say and look around and see what already was there, and you're like, okay, this is there, but aha.
Yes.
Okay.
So it actually, I wanted to start, and it was meant to be just kind of, that's the thing. It didn't start out to be a sustainable clothing store in 2020.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be just something slightly different than the other clothing stores downtown. But then, as I was researching, and I've already been kind of on my own sustainability journey, I found out that fast fashion, which is basically your clothing store at the mall, a lot of them are fast fashion.
Okay, thank you for defining that.
Yes, so
Fast
fashion.
fashion.
Think of H&M, Zara, all of the just things.
Yeah.
Forever 21.
Yeah.
Fast fashion accounts for 10% of the carbon emissions globally. So that's more than air travel combined. So that's a lot of carbon. And my whole personal sustainability goal has been to reduce my carbon emissions. And that started way back in high school. So I didn't want to contribute to more, landfill as well as carbon. So I was like, let's scrap that idea, because it was just making me anxious. And I'm like, this isn't what I want. If I'm not even proud of my own store, why would I do that? So that's where this whole idea came from.
And just real quick, where are the carbon emissions coming from?
Through the entire process, from the people who make them getting to work, to the actual process, from the waste streams of those processes, to shipping, to your supply chain, to the packaging it goes into, to your tags, to getting it into your store, to getting it home, wearing it, and then discarding them into the landfill or being incinerated.
Gotcha.
So it's the whole, your shirt that you and I are wearing went through a lot to just get here. So that's kind of the thought process that a lot of people don't think about is your one garment, you just throw it away because it gets a stain on it. That has a huge impact on the world, because it's not just you doing that, it's 7 billion people doing that.
Yeah, well, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah,
That's really helpful. So
Yeah.
back to your story.
So I was like, I don't want to wear fast fashion. I don't want to purchase. I don't want to contribute to it. And I got for Christmas a pair of recycled water bottle boots. And I was like,
Really?
why not? This is exactly what I want to do. And and everything was online, what sustainable clothing was. And so that's where I deep dived into that. And I was just like, and that's not just something that you can go to the Dallas, fashion market and find sustainable clothing. You are digging deep. And I mean, I'm going into underbellies of Pinterest of like, what is
Really?
sustainable clothing? What are these brands? And finding out if they provide wholesale or where they get it. And so there's a lot of just, my clothing it's sourced by me. I'm finding these people. I'm asking them what their sustainability reports are, what their greenwashing, what their goals are, so they align with me. And so that's kind of how it all comes together. So everything in Trace's is all really sourced by me. It's not something you're going to find everywhere else. It truly is just kind of
You really
special
put
and
a
unique.
lot of time into this, heart and soul. My goodness.
Yeah, because this is something I'm very, very, very passionate about. Of,
Yeah.
wanting to be sustainable and promoting that.
So from the idea to opening up the store, how long did that take? Do you remember?
A little under a year. But once the actual I want to do sustainable clothing,
Yeah.
that was like a month and a half.
No kidding.
That's how excited I was.
Very fast track.
It was. I already had, I was already in 2020 because I was so excited. My husband, trademarked my name, or, I got listed. And so I had the domain and I was registered and I was paying no taxes. I did that quarterly, but I didn't actually have a business. So I kind of had that framework done right up front in 2020, but I figured out how to build a website. They don't teach you that in school. Like, I know how to do math. I don't know how to build a website. So I had to figure out how to build websites and watching YouTube and doing all of these things. So it was very fast track of like, when I got into it, I'm like, I'm in the zone. This is what I'm doing. No one bother me. So
You talked about locating sources for your clothing. that you have in the store. So then how'd you make those connections?
So I really, like I said, I go through Pinterest and all their little data mining that they're doing. They knew I was into sustainability.
Yeah.
And I just would email, I'd find their point of contact down at the bottom and be like, hi, do you offer wholesale? Can I buy from you? I'm really excited to buy from you.
Yeah.
And
Where are you finding them from, Tracy? Are they from America? Are they from around the world?
A little bit from everywhere, but a lot of them are here in America.
Okay.
I do have a little of a special one that she is an Iowa native. She lives in New York now, but her sister still lives here in Iowa. And they're one of my best sellers. It's Elegant Teas. And their whole point of Elegant Teas is they take women who used to be trafficked in Nepal, and they give them a skill and they learn how to sew. And so the clothing in my shop, you actually have a name attached to the tag. And so you can actually know who made your garment and know that they overcame something horrible that is so prevalent in the world.
Yeah.
But we were able to give them a skill, and they're able to put into the economy, and they're able to grow as a human and give their life back, basically.
Yeah.
And so as an Iowa woman who, had a big dream, and she went out and did that. And so that's so fun that I'm able to go, hi, I'm from Burlington. She's like, oh, I'm just from like north of, Dubuque. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, hi. And she's like, so excited that you want to be here. So that's a really fun connection that I get to have, that this is, an Iowa grown woman who wanted to do this. So that's really fun for me.
So you sell the clothes, and then there's a percentage of the proceeds that will then go back to these girls? Is that what happens?
Well, so part of, sustainability is fair wage, fair trade. Mm-hmm. So they are paid a living wage for them. So we have the minimum wage here in America, which is why, we can have what we have. Where you're fast fashion, people are making, 50 cents, 75 cents per day, not per garment.
Yeah.
And so these women are just able to basically, as we increase the brand awareness, they're able to open up more sewing shops. So basically, think about, we're taking women from fast fashion and we're giving them a skill so they can actually build a brand that is not only sustainable in their wages, but in their business idea and their models and their inventory and that sort of thing. So that's kind of the ethos of that company. But I do have brands, that give back to, I have socks that save. So if you want to save dogs or give meals or fight mental illness, proceeds of the socks that you buy give back to different charities. And there's specific charities on the back. So they're not just nameless, faceless. It gives back to charity. It actually tells you it goes to Oceana for protecting our oceans, or, the Arctic and that sort of thing.
When the customer comes into the store, how do they know all of this? I know you mentioned on the tag, but is there something that you can show people? I mean, is it on your website? Is there anything where it talks about the different causes that by your purchase you are supporting, you are helping,
On the website, yes, on each of the items that you can see kind of the charity or what is sustainable about them. But mostly that's kind of how I engage with my customers, is I'm like, let me tell you about what's sustainable in the store. Because my tagline when you walk in, just be a little bit different, is everything in here is sustainable in nature, either how it's made, where it's made, or what it's made from. And some people are like, that's really awesome. Or some people are like, I have no idea what that means. Why don't you explain that? And so that's kind of my foray into having a conversation with them, because I want to teach. The clothing is the cherry on top, but I want to promote sustainability. And I want to be like, oh, you see those cute rain boots? Yeah, they're made from natural rubber, and they actually give back. And they're like, whoa, how cool is that? Or I'm like, you see that soap? It really does smell like the mountains of Montana. It's really cool. And that's the sort of thing that I'm like, feel this bamboo? That's so soft, and you can wash it really well. And that's how I'm trying to interact with them. So I'm trying to teach, but also give them a little bit of like, this is why I'm different, is because my product isn't just something that you're going to see everybody wearing. Or
you definitely have a niche business.
I do.
What are you doing to, in addition to being on here, how are you getting your message out? Because this is a powerful message. This is a powerful cause that you're doing. You need to get this out. So how are people coming to know about you?
Really just kind of by word of mouth. But I have this thing, not this thing, excuse me, this branded every Tuesday. I call it #Sustainability Tuesday. And it's a little blurb. It's a little Facebook post and Instagram post about how you can be sustainable on Tuesday. And I started doing this back in November of 21. And I was just having a lot of eco-anxiety. And I was like, how can I fight this? And so I started just, hey, how to be sustainable. If I can get one person to be sustainable, that's what it is. So that's how I'm getting my message out, is I'm like, I'm now the sustainability girl. Like, if you want to know something sustainable, you check me out on Tuesday. And that's where I'm at. So I'm trying to get out in social media. I'm a really bad millennial. I'm not really great at social media. And I will tell everybody that. I'm like YouTubing. I'm like, how do you like do an Instagram reel? you know? But yeah, I just try to word of mouth and really just get people to understand me. So.
Did something happen when you were younger? Did you work on like a project in school or something that got you motivated to do this? Was there something
Did you talk to my mother? Yes. I was like, oh my gosh.
Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yes, you are. So this brings how I got my start in life. I built my sophomore year of high school. I built a muffler and a filter that reduced carbon dioxide from vehicle exhaust using lithium hydroxide and zeolite. And I actually was able to reduce carbon dioxide from vehicle exhaust using my muffler. And I went to international science fairs with this. This was a big thing. And so, this is 2008, 2009. And I took this all around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, this has been a big passion of mine to kind of help fight climate change.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it just happened to be engineering that way. And then through just school, I found out that, I wasn't going to solve cancer. I wasn't going to build, water towers or, build communities around that. That wasn't me. So I kind of figured out my own way how to be an engineer. And then I just kind of got back into it through just different places and different friends of mine who were doing just great sustainable things. And I was like, I want to do that. And then I found out it was a really big passion of mine. So I found that, 16-year-old girl again going, hi, let me tell you how to reduce carbon out of your, vehicle exhaust and that sort of thing. So then, I had my little nickname in high school. I was the muffler girl because I had the muffler. I walked around with the muffler and I was like, there's no way that's a girl. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's me, I'm a muffler girl. And now I've heard people at farmers market go, oh, that's a sustainability girl. And I'm like, cool, I'll take it. I'll be that girl. I love it. So as long as I've got a nickname.
Matured to the
Yes.
sustainability girl.
Yes.
Did anything come of that from what you did and you went to those science shows? Did anything come of that? Did that get used or incorporated in anything?
No, not for me personally, but there actually is a doctoral student who is a female, and I do believe it's the University of Wisconsin or Michigan, and she is actually starting to do that. And I reached out to her. I just said, hey, I did this when I was in high school, and I'm so happy that someone's carrying it on because I don't think I could.
I'm smarter than you. I did this in high school. You went to college.
Yeah, wow, you're like so behind the times. I did this like 20 years ago. Like, what are you doing? Or 10 years ago. So that was the fun part about that. And, I'm hoping when I was in high school, someone had sent me a little note, and he said, because I was in the newspaper, and, hi, look at all the things that I've done. And he sent me a note, and he goes, I don't know if you'll get this, but from another hippie-loving guy, I just want to say thank you for trying to do this. Thank you for caring about our earth. And I still have that note. That really, that touches you as a person, where I'm like, okay, I've made a ripple somewhere.
Yes.
And so that was my goal with this doctoral student of like, hey, I believe in you. Like, this is exciting. Congratulations. Keep going. But that's also what I want to do with my business. I'm like, hey, if you take one thing away from here, that's one ripple that you're going to go back and be like, hey, I bought this dress and it's sustainable. It's made from bamboo. Or, hey, this dress I've had for 5 years because it's quality and I'm repairing it. Or, I just want to keep promoting that because you never know who's listening.
Right.
And they're all going to just be like, I can do that.
Right.
That's that one thing. So.
Right. Is there any misconceptions that you know of regarding the whole theory concept of sustainability? Is there anything that you hear about and you go, you know what, I need to set the record straight because they just don't get it. They don't understand.
Everyone, from what it seems like, that's a generalization, so excuse me. It seems that it's an all or nothing situation. Mm-hmm. And sustainability is not an all or nothing situation. You can choose whichever pillar of the sustainability world you want to go after, and you're still fighting sustainability. You're still striving for it to be sustainable.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this. I am not zero plastic. That is just something that I don't think I can do. But I'm going to reduce my plastic, which is great. I'm trying that. I am really bad at composting my food, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I don't buy, organic, or I don't buy, but I'm going to try to buy local. And it's just this whole thing of electric versus gas, and just diesel, and you've got all these different things, and it's like you pick one and you go after that. And no one's going to tell you that you're wrong. And if those people tell you you're wrong, they're wrong, because we don't need 7 billion people doing it perfectly. We need 7 billion people doing it imperfectly. And that's what I want to tell people. I'm like, if you buy from me, you've made a step. If you recycle one can instead of throwing it in the trash, you've made a step. And that's what I think needs to come across, is that it's not like, oh, it's so all-encompassing. How do I become zero emission or zero carbon, zero waste, and compost and all of these things? And how do I bicycle in the state of Iowa on a highway? It's like you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's just not here. But what can you do? Can you make sure that you don't drop your piece of trash as you're walking from, your car into the grocery store? Sure, 100%. That's still something you can do. So I think that's the biggest misconception, is that it's this, we have to be all this.
Yeah.
We have to be all zero plastic. We have to be all vegan. We have to be all this. But no, you can just sit in the middle and just pick and choose what you want to do.
If you incrementalize and you do a little here and you're doing your part, you're helping. Every little part is an improvement.
Exactly.
Okay, very good.
Leave the seashells on the beach, pick up trash. Don't leave the seashell, just all those things. And that's what I want to get across to people. It's like, you're good. You just try something. Just try something.
You have any other examples in your store that you want to talk about that promotes anything in particular?
Sure. So I love getting cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards. I absolutely love them. They're one of my favorite because I love seeing the words.
Yeah.
Do you want to know where they're all at? They're all sitting in a box that I'm sure will get all tossed out when I'm old and no one's going to ever read them again.
Yeah.
But I love them because I'm like, well, I'm not going to throw them away. Like, someone took time to write me a card. I sell plantable cards. So these cards are impregnated with seeds, wildflower seeds from America.
Oh.
And so it's its own waste stream. So basically you can write your card and happy birthday or congratulations or thank you. And pardon me, then you give it to that person. That person then can rip it up, put it, plant it, water it, and wildflowers will grow. So you actually are growing a gift.
No kidding.
That someone wants to give you. I also have cards that are the exact same way, notepads and journals. I have that. I have all my jeans.
Is this from someone in America? Or is this from?
Yep,
really?
they're down in Florida.
Okay.
Yep.
Think of the ingenuity. Think of the mind.
I think it's so
fun.
fun.
These people.
Yeah, and but I received one of those cards. I'm trying really hard to grow wildflowers. So everyone, stay tuned. I keep telling people, like, I'm trying. It's gone. I searched the dirt. They're in there somewhere. I just don't know where. Not really great at growing plants, but so I have that. But all my denim is American made denim. Denim is horrible for the earth, water wise and dye, and it's very toxic. Production, but all my denim is made here in America, and it's low wash, low dye. So basically they recycle the water. So that's really great because a lot of that production's in California where they have a water crisis. And then I also have some clothing that 30% of the fabric is made out of recycled water bottles. I have clothing that is made out of tree bark, basically. It's modal fabric, it's tencel, it's luxurious.
No kidding.
It's luxurious. Like, if you've never felt bamboo and tencel and just modal fabric. It's soft. It's so
Because my
silk.
first thought with trees is it would be hard. It would not feel soft or comfortable.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just so soft, and it's just so great. And then I have some wonderful sweatshirts. I actually took it on a trip overseas, and it's American cotton, a slave-free alliance, and it's a small business. And it is the best sweatshirt ever. It washes so well. And so, that's what I want to promote to everybody. Is like, I have these clothing. I wear this stuff all the time too.
Yeah.
And it's here to stay. It's quality. It's quality stuff that you're going to get, and you're going to see different people.
What's the reaction that you're getting, like, from customers when they come into the store? Because do they know what they're getting when they walk into the store?
Some people will be like, oh, I don't know what that means. And when I get the eyebrows raised, and I'm like, oh, okay, these people are going to take a little bit to be like, okay, let me explain to you what this means.
Yeah.
But generally, I get people who go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're promoting this. Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were here. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Because I think people want it. They see it on the internet and just, ads or whatever, but to actually come in and feel it and see it, they're just like, oh my gosh, it's here. We can actually see it. We can actually understand what sustainability means, rather than it's just an expensive piece of clothing.
Are you doing anything else to market yourself, to market the store? Like, we have the farmers market here, or there's the very vintage market, things like that downtown. Are there any specific shows or things like that you're able to get out and promote the business?
I am open for farmers market, so I'm normally inside, but I'm gonna kind of take my wares outside so I can promote those different things. Just because there's a lot of sidewalk. People are on the sidewalks and they're just kind of wanting to see their vendor. So I'm going to try that. That's just something that didn't occur to me. I know that seems really strange. I do have a story about that. But, I'm like, I didn't know. And Very Vintage Market, I'm super excited to actually be like, hi, everything in my shop, infrastructure-wise, furniture-wise, was all secondhand. I sourced all of that from yard sales, all my Christmas decorations are from yard sales and things like that.
The racks?
The racks are all secondhand. Nothing was purchased brand new.
Wow.
So, I'm living and breathing. I'm like, it's taken a while to fill up the store, but I'm like, you got to hunt for that, little.
Yeah. And how's the inventory for items like that? Is it easy to get the inventory for your store?
It is. And so with that, also part of sustainability is keeping a lower inventory. So everything you see is what I have out on the shop floor. And that is by design. It's one of those things where I have it because what if it doesn't sell? Then I'm left with, one, money that I can't sell, but two, who's going to take it? What's my waste stream? Where is that going to go? Am I going to donate it? Is somebody going to want it? That sort of thing. So I haven't had any shipping issues where I know a lot of people have. A lot of my stuff is stateside, so I'm able to grab it or get it much faster. But Tracy, I don't churn. I don't have the overturning of my inventory every 3 weeks or like any of that. I keep it very much seasonal. Like, this is what I have for the season. This is what you're going to see. So very much if I run out of something, I can reorder, but also I want to make sure that I don't want to say exclusive, but it's a smaller inventory, so everybody kind of has their own uniqueness to them.
I'm always fascinated with a clothing shop. How do you determine how much to get in each size? Like between a small, medium, a large?
If you find out, you let me know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm just like, oh, well, they offer this or that, and you try, and it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of data mining. Which is pretty great that I'm able to just like, this is how much you sold of each size or whatever. So I'm working on that.
Have you somehow figured out like the majority of my customers tend to be mediums, tends to be a size?
I haven't got there yet, but yes, I'm hoping that after my full year of being in brick and mortar that I'm able to do that. I've actually kind of go, this is what people want and that sort of thing. But what size, but yeah, it's really hard. And, I do watch and I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to watch like what everybody's kind of gravitating towards and what they're wearing. I'm like, okay. All right, that's, so I try to shove it we'll front load that size and nope, that's not the size they wanted. They all wanted this one. I was just like, stay consistent. I'm all about consistency as an engineer.
Right.
So
we're just about out of time, Tracy. So again, if somebody comes into the store and they see all of this, maybe the price tag might be a little higher than normal that they might expect. But what is the benefit? I guess the sale pitch? What is it that you would like to impart upon that customer when they're looking at that item to purchase?
You're buying quality, not quantity, one. And two, you are making a very large impact on the world, because if you can wear this item 17 times, you have worn its components. You have outlasted what it needs to do to the resources, and you are saving somebody. These things people are not being exploited to make your garment or your shoes or your soap. People are putting their hearts and souls into this. People are being fairly compensated for them. The earth is being okay. Someone is consciously thinking about the earth and their impact on it. So you are paying for the greater good to help save our earth. So that's kind of what I'm trying to promote, is that, it's a little bit expensive, but this isn't meant to be thrown away next week. This is meant to be worn. This is meant to be used. This is meant to impart a feeling that when I wear this, I help save water or a woman from, exploitation, or I was able to give another small business. So that's what I want to kind of impart.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to come in today and share that. It's very inspirational.
Thank you.
And it definitely, you wear it on your sleeve. It definitely shows that you are passionate about it and that you're wanting to certainly make a difference. So once again, you're on the 400 block of Jefferson in downtown Burlington. And you do have a website.
I do.
And what is that?
www.tracesboutique.com.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook at Traces Sustainable Boutique, and I'm on Instagram at Traces_boutique. So you can find me there, and as I figure out social media, it'll be fun.
Excellent. Well, Tracy Dunn, thank you again, and best wishes and continued success to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on All Things Greater Burlington.
You have been listening to All Things Greater Burlington with Stephen Brody. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to catch all new episodes. To learn more about All Things Greater Burlington, visit greaterburlington.com/ATGB.